Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to the UPBA, the Useful Plower Bend a Mole. A mole? I don't know English, apparently. I'm just some silly American going up against a Canadian, if this Canada thing is even real, Vancouver Canucks, a good friend of the UPBA, Salty. Man, imagine if I had been using my Vancouver team this season, which I believe is mostly retired. I was the Tapu Canucks, he is the Canucks, and Gray is the Titans, if that's even real. Yeah, then we'd have like a real Canadian. I'm assuming Salty is actually in Vancouver. Then we would have like a half real Canadian, me, because I used to live in Vancouver. I actually really like it there. I joke about like Canada poo-poo, but honestly, like Vancouver is one of the few places in the world I can actually tolerate. Yet somehow the place I can tolerate the most is Brooklyn. How does that work? Anyway, so yeah, we'd have like a real Canadian, a half real Canadian, and like the most fake Canadian you can ever get, aka Gray. That would have been fun to have like the Vancouver trifecta, but instead it is the way it is. Anyway, let's take a look at the matchup going into this game. It's interesting. So yeah, we're actually coming off of a win. It's really interesting to say that we are now 2-1. And I believe my opponent is doing much better than I am, especially going on the power. Well, how did Zane do the power rankings? Anyway, Zane, Stinky, etc. All I care about in power rankings is that I rank higher than mid, and eventually I'll rank higher than Gray too. So that'll be fantastic. So let's see. Going through the matchup is going to be a little bit awkward because my opponent's there's some like trades and transactions, some exchanges, if you will. About like right before we battled, my opponent's team got traded around, but let's see if I can use my memory to remember what things that he had. So my opponent had a big old Tapu Lele. Yeah, Tapu Lele, great. I remember once upon a time I had a team with Tapu Lele going up against a team with URSHIFU, and I was like, hey, Tapu Lele is a fairy type that can like bamboozle URSHIFU unless it's scarfed. Anyway, so yeah, he's got that thing. He's also got this, the Thunderous Therian, which is just like as scary. That thing can be devastating, especially now because it's got boots. Boots are an item that exists. Also, Choice Scarf is an item that exists. I'm honestly more worried about a Scarfed Thundy Tea because that outspeeds my URSHIFU, which I may or may not be bringing. Why can't I find it? Yeah, so he's got a Volcanion, however you want to pronounce it. That thing is scary. It's like, imagine taking one of the most broken moves in the game, Scald, and just making it 40 times better and giving it to one Pokemon, and that Pokemon has just like a stupidly good special attack and an insanely good typing, and it's just throw choice specs on it, and it's just so he's got that thing. He's also got the Barraskewda, so doubling up on the water types, but you know what, they kind of serve different roles. Barraskewda is more like scary Scuda, am I right, gamers? There is also a Tangrowth. There is a Porygon too. Yeah, you'll notice I'm probably putting up the newer version of the team. So you're like, that thing's not there, Trogdor. Are you drunk? Probably. No, I'm not. I don't drink on the weekdays anymore. Then there's like this other things like the Cryogonal. Does he have the Waka anymore? No, he had the Tyrantrum before the Waka. He had the Meow Stick before the Doublade and Mesprit. Oh, wait, no. Did he have Doublade? I thought I prepped for Doublade. Anyway, that's a team. all the scary things are like the Lele, the Thundy T, the Barraskewda. So my game plan is as follows. Oh, my screen went dark. Oh no, you probably didn't even see that because I have the teams up. My game plan is basically use the first member. Oh wait, did I seriously just have my whole ass team sitting here right in front? Oh, so you already see the 6 that I'm bringing. Wow. Yeah, so my game plan is to have my Swampert get up rocks because he has a lot of things weak to rocks, notably Thundurus, which is scary for me. Also Volcanion, which is scary for me. Also possibly that Crobat, which is scary for me. Yeah, he had Crobat during our so basically there are a lot of things that, because number one, even if he is bringing boots, that gives me valuable information. So rocks serve 2 roles for me this game. You see, I'm thinking more than one-dimensionally. So rocks serve multiple roles for me this game. Number 1, chip on everything. Number 2, sussing out items. Because if I see that Thundurus comes in and doesn't take damage, well, guess who isn't a choice Scarfer? If I see Volcanion come in and doesn't take rocks damage, guess who's probably not Specs? So I also got some moves, but I'm just going to be like clicking rocks. I also have a Rindo Berry here because there is something by the name of a big old Tangrowth that is, we'll talk about Tangrowth in a little bit, but basically if I want to, like, if he wants to lead with that, trying to like double lead my Swampert, it's like, I can take a Giga Drain. Joke's on you, nerd, and get up my rocks. I was kind of looking at everything. Did I want to get some extra damage with Expert Bell? Do I want to have like the Rocky Helmet to help versus the Skewda going for Banded Aqua Jets? Do I want to do this or that? It was like, you know what? Swampert has a very clear role. Get up the rocks. That'll help me guarantee most that I can do that. Yeah. Next is Galaxy Brain, the Slowking. It's actually 1 tier above Galaxy Brain. I just couldn't think of anything bigger and more important than Galaxy. It's Galarian Slowking, the MVP of last game, so you know that we're bringing it again. I'm AV with a bunch of mixed bulk and stuff. You know, Slowking can just be good. Regenerator. And I'm going for the Power Gem, Ice Beam, Future Sight, and Sludge Bomb, which I think is the only coverage I really need for this game. I can tank hits from Thundy. I can tank like a +2 Nasty. Well, yeah, Nasty Plot gives me +2. What am I thinking? I can tank a +2 Thunderbolt and almost a Dark Pulse, but basically the amount of damage that I can do to it is nice. It can also tank Specs hits from things like Volcanion. I can be a pretty reliable switch into the Tangrowth, but I got other things to deal with that. You will see. Yeah, so that is Slowking. URSHIFU, he does not have a switch in for this at all. Doesn't exist. Wicked Blow just like can haha everything on the team. So Tangrowth is potentially the bulkiest thing. If it's rocking a Rocky Helmet, that will be difficult for me. But basically, I'm going to be clicking buttons with URSHIFU. It's like, oh, do you have a Scarfer on your team? That's nice. I'm going to be clicking Sucker Punch. Oh, you have you have a Boots Thundurus and something else. I'm going to be clicking Wicked Blow. Basically, like I'm looking for switch-ins to this, and sorry, can't find them. Yeah, so that's URSHIFU. Corvin Knight. You may remember that he has a whole ass Tapu Lele, which is a problem for me. But not with Corvin Knight here. So, Roost, Dual Stab, Defog. So, Defog, my opponent doesn't exactly have the best rockers, but he does have some other potential annoying things. Having rocks up on my side of the field are more important, but again, for reasons such as chip and sussing out information about Thundy and what do you call it? Yeah, the other thing. if I get into a situation like with Galadite in week 2, where URSHIFU could have won had it not been for screens up, I don't want that to be a problem. Even though Wicked Blow can go through screens, Sucker Punch cannot. So I don't want there to just be like Meowstick doing things, and then it's URSHIFU versus like Scarf Thundy and Banded Aquajet Barraskewda. I want to be able to like have the option to like yeet those screens before URSHIFU does its things. Like, honestly, I'm just trying to think about like what potential things can my opponent do to not completely lose to this. And well, Galadite managed to not get completely bamboozled by using dual screens and have something faster than me. Okay, so but I'm a Scarfer, so I'm faster than everything in the known universe. That's not true. So yeah, there's Corviknight. Take hits from Lele, do damage to Tangrowth, just be an annoying bird. You know, Corviknight doesn't die, and so far I've been doing an okay job with this season. Okay. I apologize in advance for my next Pokemon. I am bringing Azumarill. It has an Assault Vest. It has the Sap Zipper ability. I have Whirlpool. Remember how I mentioned that I need to kill Tangrowth? This is my way to do that. I'm going to switch in to a Sleep Powder or Giga Drain, or whatever the Tangrowth wants to go for. Maybe it's physical and has Power Whip. I'm going to get that attack boost. I'm going to go for Whirlpool. I'm going to start knocking it off and punching it with ice until it has taken so much damage that it dies. Azumarill can 1v1 Tangrowth. That's its job. That's the only reason I'm bringing it, because once that goes down, it's just like, oh, URSHIFU is free. Yeah, so that's Azu's job. And just in case that doesn't work, I have a Shenandoah Bong right here. Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Energy Ball. Yeah, it's a thing. I was debating a lot of things for my last team member. And I just figured it's like, you know what? I already dedicated like 2.5 things to being able to beat the Tangrowth. Why not throw in another thing? Colbert Berry, so I can like live a knockoff and just go for a big old Fire Blast and like outspeed things. And yeah, in hindsight, maybe this wasn't the greatest set in the world, but Chandelure is still scary no matter what. Like, seeing it at team preview, you gotta scratch your head. It's like, oh, who's the Scarfer, this or that? And like, you can't lock into fighting moves with this on the field, like, which it looks great for like bamboozling the URSHIFU, but it's like, think twice about that. Anyway, that's the team. Let's open up the battle and see what happens with that. So here's the battle. Let me close switch thing. So you can see the squad that he brought. I'm gonna pause that and put my opponent's team right there. Yeah. So he did in fact bring the Volcanion, the Tapu Lele, the Thundurus, the Tangrowth, the Barraskewda, and Meowstic. So more or less what I expected. I bet one of those things is so I'm just gonna go with my plan and lead with Swampert. Get my rocks up turn 1. Maybe does Meowstic get taunt? I don't know. Maybe he just wants to go for big damage with the Tapu Lele. Maybe he wants to go for big damage with the Thundurus. Oh yeah, I also have a Rindoberry in case the Thundy starts to just haha my entire team. And it's like, oh, +2 Grass Knot, that's scary, right? No, wrong. I can instead go for the Ice Beam on you. So honestly, looking at this matchup, how many times have I mentioned how scared I am of a Scarf Thundy T? Well, that's probably there, right? But I'm still thinking, once Tangrowth goes down, I can probably lock myself into Sucker Punch. If the Lele is also dead and can't get up Psychic Terrain, that would be bad, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to do the thing that I said that I was going to do. Let's see. And once I do that, his removal is a Defog Thunderous. So if he's like Boots Defog, that would be interesting. Volcanion is going to be tricky to switch into, but I do have 2 AV users, so we'll see if I can do a good job with that. Okay, so we see me and my opponent's trader cards right there. While my opponent will still get notable awards for being well-dressed, I still, to this day, remain the best-dressed trainer in the entire league. Thank you, good night. I am now 4-0 in that regard. Not just here, but also in the APA. So he does, in fact, lead with the Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele can have Energy Ball. Even if it is Specs, I live one. Thank you, Rindo Berry. So hopefully he actually goes for that. I'm actually hoping that he goes for that, thinking, you know, it's like, oh, you thought you could bamboozle me, but I still get to do my job. A safe switch would have been into Corviknight. I was thinking, like, you know what, I could, like, save this bamboozlement for later, but I've made it very clear to myself, to you, the viewer, to everyone, how important Stealth Rocks are for me. Did that sentence make sense in English? Yeah. So we see the Energy Ball. I'm going to live that. I'm going to live that right here, right now. I might even not take, like, half. You know, I could have lived one, like, at full health. I just had to double check that I was actually recording. I saw some, like, weird whatever. Yeah, there are my rocks. Very happy about that. That is a Tapu Lele that is about to click another Energy Ball. Probably choice, but just in case not, I'm gonna go into my Corviknight. Slowking might have been the better play in the case of a Thunderbolt, but there's no way he's clicking Thunderbolt with a Swampert in front of me in the event that he is not choiced. So Corv comes out. I am doing Corviknight things, and we see another Energy Ball. I'm gonna take like 4 from this. Well, I'm gonna take 11 damage, but still, for Corv, that's like 4. So Lele is here, and if he goes for the Thunderbolt right here, that would be number 1, valuable information for me. Number 2, unfortunate, but I could still live one, go for a whole ass Iron Head, and it would take a chunk, and then I would realize that, like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have many good switches to this thing because of because it just gets all the coverage for my defensive core. But a big Corviknight is scary in the face of that. It's like, honestly, this might be a Scarfer. I don't know. I don't think, like, Lele is the best Scarfer to have in the face of an URSHIFU, because it's like, you gotta lock yourself in the Moonblast, and I have a Corviknight, and a Glow King, and a Swampert. So I see this Tangrowth, it takes rocks, I go for an Iron Head. Based on that damage, it is fully physically defensive. It has the leftovers, which is really, really good to know. So that's not, in fact, Rocky Helmet. It is not, in fact, Ass Vest. It is instead leftovers. So it might be rocking the Sleep Powder, other grass status moves, something. So I'm just, for some reason, not going into Azumarill right away. Did I click Braveford? No, go into Azumarill. That's what you have it for. Yeah, see, yeah, right there. That's good job. Okay, good job passing me, going for the right place. Not very often that I do that, right? So Azumarill comes in, making its first debut ever. So that Tangrowth goes for Protect. So I'm thinking, like, oh no, is this a scumbag Tangrowth with, like, Protect, Leech Seed, Giga Drain? Oh no, whatever can I do against that? Sap Sipper is what I can do. So I'm going to click a Whirlpool. Whirlpool is going to trap this thing as he goes for the knockoff, gets rid of my Ass Vest, but that still does like 2 damage. I won't be getting a residual recovery with this thing, but Azumarill is like a thick thing to like begin with, so I can still take hits. So now we are going to begin on an adventure of Azumarill being a complete scumbag. Now, hopefully you, the viewer, also watched my other league content and saw my APA battle versus Jorge, in which I had a Whimsicott, and that Whimsicott was a scumbag. Oh yeah, so the Sap Sipper just got revealed there. So my opponent's probably thinking, oh no, oh no. However, not so many oh no's because my assault vest was revealed, which means that I am not like, okay. So in terms of scumbag levels, mid is here with his flinch core. Whimsicott is normally here. Whimsicott in the APA was here. Shaquaza with his Whimsicott was here. It was still scum. No, right below here because it's like that the scumminess of like flinch core doesn't like hold a candle to Sunsport Whimsicott. But my Whimsicott was here. Going for encore like that. Perish trapping. So normal whirlpool trapping Ozzy is like right here, but when you bring it up to like perish trapping, it's like, oh no, help! I'm dying of scumminess. So I'm kind of hovering around here. So given that I've already like gone for this level of scumminess in Pokemon, I've decided I'm okay with like this range right here. Not like Gothitelle or Dugtrio or like full on perish trapping, but like this range I've decided if it means winning, I'm okay. So I guess I'm becoming completely morally bankrupt when it comes to Pokemon. Okay, not completely, but it's like okay, first of all, it's difficult to watch this. But also it's like, going for the protect's probably the best thing that it can do, hoping for the whirlpool to peter out. But Azumarill did its job, and the Tangrowth is gone. So that means that Bear Force 1 is free. That means Bear Force 1 is free. To just haha everything. So Layla comes out. It's probably got the Thunderbolt at this point. The Psychic's terrain only lasted for 4 turns, so that's probably not Terrain Extender, which, I don't know. If you're worried about, like, what do you call it? Like Belly Drum and stuff, and Aqua Jet, I could see the value of that. But I'm thinking, like, you know what? Azu did its job. I've got no reason to save this. So let's see if I can tank this Thunderbolt from Lele. Hey, and I'll just liquidate it. Like, okay, easy. Get some nice damage off of that. Honestly, like, Tapu Lele was not that big of a threat to my team to begin with, but having this damage is nice. It's nice. However, I do see that I'm going to die to the next one, and I'm thinking like, oh, I can't go for an Aqua Jet even if I had it because of the Psychic terrain, even though it would kill. But, oh wait, I stay in? Okay, I guess it makes sense for him to switch out. Probably because my Galarian Slowking switch was just... Or no, I still had Swampert hanging out back in the back there. So that tells me that he probably is choiced in some manner, although I know it's not Specs. So Liquidation does a nice chunk to the Meowstic right there. I am going to click going into Corviknight right here. Is that the case? Yes, it is. Okay. Not exactly sure what Meowstic wants to do. I figured, like, oh, maybe Azumarill actually is valuable for the future, doing some Bamboozlement, even though everything outspeeds it. Or, it might be nice to sack later on. So my opponent goes for the Reflect right here, which I have a whole Defog on my Corviknight. I still have a Swampert to get up rocks later if I want, but I decide, you know what? I'm not going to click it. I'm going to click the bravest bird in the whole world and just get some more damage. So he withdraws his Custard. Is Barraskewda named Fish Fingers? If he's got like Fish Fingers and Custard on his team, that'd be hilarious. So I go for a bravest bird against this Volcanion. I know it's not going to do a lot given the Reflect is up, and I take some recoil. That Volcanion took Rock Damage, so I know that it is not Boots. Boots Volcanion is scary. And right here, we get into a situation where, alright, we start dealing with connection issues. I'm going to have to, like, skip ahead on this. Where do we, yeah, we're, like, waiting this turn for, like, forever. So, yeah, I guess the LAN server that we joined had like a lot of traffic. I was like checking the ping for every once in a while. So we finally get back. I've still got most of my move time left, which is great, just as long as I always stay ahead of my opponent. I'm going to switch into my Galaxy Brain. Is that what I did? I went for my Bravest Bird and then switch into Galarian Slowking, because I am also a Salt Vest user. I can tank hits from Volcanion. Like, even a Specs Steam Eruption is not 2-hit KOing me. And there's a Steam Eruption. And based on the damage that he did, that's probably big fat Specs right there. So it's like, oh no. Switches to Specs Steam Eruption don't exist. No, they do. See? They exist. Right there. I did it. So I go for a Power Gem right here. Hopefully he like stays in. Like, I can live another one and then get all that health back from regen. However, given the lack of a Dark type on his team, I thought maybe, just maybe, a Future Sight might have been a good play. Like, the switches to that don't really exist, and whatever does come in, so can go for another move, like whatever. Meowstic is here. This thing is kind of annoying for me. It's getting chipped down like enough, and it's pretty low now. It's pretty low. Given the number of turns that the Reflect has been up, that's probably a Light Clay, and I also don't see like any lefties or anything. So I do want to get a chunk of my health back with the regen. That's why Slowking is so amazing. And I go back into my Azu, because it's like, you know what, I don't really need this anymore. So, like, what do you want to go for? A Psychic or something? Like, okay, that's cute. I'll just hit you with a knockoff. Like, what do you want to do to me, guy? Like, yeah. So now we're waiting some more. I'm hoping that it's not like a bad connection or anything, because like, remember my scummiest levels? It's like this is Gothitelle, and like up there on my ceiling is how bad LAN can be. So I get Toxic. Maybe I was trying to catch like Shenandoah on the switch or something, but I knocked that off, and Meowstic goes down. So cool, nice. He can't get up any more screens versus me. He was in fact the Light Clay, so that's kind of good to know, I guess. It was a dedicated screener, meaning maybe he's got something that wants to set up behind screen, so maybe that is in fact a Nasty Plot Thundurus. But again, less worried about that than I am other variants. So we're continuing to take forever to decide on things, and yeah, skip too far ahead. So I think you saw that he went to the Volcanion there. Oh yeah, the Volcanion is right here. So I figured, yeah, Azu, you did a good job. Time to say goodbye. So we say goodbye to Azu for its debut game. Did a great job. And right now I've got the freest URSHIFU that's ever been a free URSHIFU in the history of ever. And for the next, oh yeah, after this, so this is where the connection issues really start to happen. Because it's like for the next 5 minutes, the LAN timer just stalled us out. So we had to, at this point, this communication screen thing was up for like a good 5 minutes. So we decided to recreate the battle, which was annoying, but we got to the point where I've got URSHIFU in there. Okay, so in recreating this battle, oh wait, did I unclick the wrong thing? Yeah, I unclicked Shenandoah when in fact it was Azu that died. So when recreating, we mostly got to the same point. The only thing that's slightly different was when Glowking tanked the hit from the Volcanion. I did get that there was a burn from the Steam Eruption, which, like, yeah, okay, I guess. But at the same time, like, I didn't think that was worth going back and doing it again, because we were mostly hack-free besides that. Like, if there had been a cheeky crit on something, like imagine turn 1 Energy Ball crit versus Swampert and the Rindo Berry, that would have just been like, okay, we got to do it again right now. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, personally. Just because Slowking is still at enough HP to do the things it needs to do. And just because, like, you know, I've got URSHIFU in now, and that's basically like, I can start just clicking buttons and killing things with it, to be honest. So So yeah, we got to like this exact same turn, and now we got this communicating thing again, and we're just hoping like, please tell us that we don't have to try another server. Like the normal ping that I look for is below like 40 pings. The last version of this game, the LAN server got all the way up to like 800 pings, which I was just looking at that. I was like, no. Yeah, so I click the button and URSHIFU does a thing, and the Volcanion is dead. That crit obviously didn't matter because I always get a crit because Wicked Blow is just kind of dumb and broken and all that. So let's see what he wants, what his answer for it is. If he has a Scarfer, he's probably bringing it in right here. So I see that Skuta. That Barrascuda, I'm looking at like damage that it can do to me. I live a Liquidation. I live a Banded Aquajet. I do not live a Close Combat. But do you know what I do have? I do have a... Oh yeah, I have a Swampert just to like kind of suss out the kind of damage he wants to do. Since, again, Swampert did its job. Like, I'm okay with having it in the back here as death fodder, as he does go for that big old close combat. Bring it down the defenses. As Swampert goes down, you did your job, you did it well. Thank you for your service to our country, Swampert. So now, if this thing is choiced, Chandelure just like ha-has it to like bye, just go away. If he goes for the water move, however, that means I win even harder with URSHIFU. Did I mention that URSHIFU is doing really well for me this game? So I'm going to click a big old fat energy ball. I figure the only thing that wants to take one of those is the Thunderous, because Lele is low. Thundy, well, it's still scary for him. It's still scary. Okay. He could be down like 6-1 with a Thunderous and still come back. That's the level of like, it is for me. I still have a Slowking. So it brings in the Lele. That thing's probably just gonna die to my energy ball, even though, like, yeah, after the rocks especially. This Psychic Surge comes up, however, which makes me think that he is worried about something like a Banded Sucker Punch. Based on the damage I did with URSHIFU, you know, that could have been banded damage. That could have been, yeah, Lele went down. Thank you, Chandelure. Could have been boosted of some kind. So I'm thinking, yeah, you're probably worried about a Sucker Punch guy. Which means that it's probably a good time for a Thunderous to come in and potentially just do things. So Odin, King of the Norse gods, comes in, and the Viking in me wants to salute Odin, but the Pokemon player in me is seeing past that nickname and realizing that this is scary. So yeah, you see a Slowking got the burn there. That's fine though. Whatever. That is Boots Thunderous. That is extremely valuable information for me, which makes me think that I can I can outspeed this with Ursh. I can, if I get a little bit of damage on this, Wicked Blow kills 100% of the time. Like, you know, it could be like bulky Nasty Plot or something. It could be like, I don't know, some level annoying. So he goes for the Thunderbolt. Like I've mentioned, Slowking can live a +2 Thunderbolt from that thing, and I'm going to go for a Power Gem. Get some nice damage on it. Like, that's the most damage that I can do. I could have gone for the Future Sight right there. That would have done more damage later on, but I just figured I need the damage immediately. If he's going to try to get cheeky and go for a second boost, I'm going to like go for the Future Sight here, but he instead goes for the Thunderbolt as Galaxy Brain goes down. So luckily for me, Slowking got to such a high level of like brain expansion in the last battle that this death right here doesn't bring it below Galaxy Brain. Yeah, URSHIFU comes in, and now I can just click a button. So I'm gonna click Wicked Blow right here. And let's see what I can do to this Skuta. So if that Skuta is in fact choiced, which my spidey senses say it is, I of course outspeed the Thundy and bamboozle it. However, that Skuta could be playing some serious mind games with me. it's still a threat. Like, it does a lot of damage to things like Corviknight. It does like so much damage to Shenandoah, which just went down. Yeah, the Thunder. And like, it's got close combat for the URSHIFU. However, if it does want to beat the URSHIFU, it's got to be Scarfed. So it comes in, and I just want to make sure. That I am able to KO this thing with Ursh. So if he goes for the or just KO in general. If he goes for the close combat right here, Shandy switches in and oh yeah, that's cute. Bye. If it goes for the liquidation right here, Shandy will die. If it goes for the liquidation right here, but Ursh will be able to live. So I guess right here I'm prioritizing getting another KO with URSHIFU over preserving any differential. But at the same time, like, also checking my bases. It's like, oh, if I can still KO it with Shandy. Here. Goes for the liquidation. Like I said, that is fine. And of course, it's going to take out my Shenandoah Bong. So Shandy goes down. But like, Corviknight is still at full and could take it out because it can tank hits for days. But I also know that I can live a liquidation if in fact that is a Scarfed Propeller. I'm just going to click Wicked Blow. Like, yeah, you've got no chance to survive Maker Time. I am, in fact, faster. And so that is a third and final KO for the URSHIFU. And that thing goes down. And I pick up a 2-0 win. So, good game to my opponent. I thought that was a fun game to play. Except, of course, for the connection issues. Which, yeah, recreating games are never fun. But it's better than doing like on Showdown or on regular Wi-Fi like I did last week. Now, last week was still a fun game. It's just being pressed for time is never fun. So yeah, good game to my opponent. I am picking up a win streak right here, which is nice. That doesn't happen for me very often. It's very rare for me to get more than 3 wins in a row. But hey, you know what? It's nice. I'll take it. And I would like to once again apologize for Azumarill being a scumbag. But you know what? I wasn't a Parasong. So yeah, MVP, obviously Bear Force won. Opponent's MVP, probably that Volcanion for just doing chunks, which it's scary. But anyway, I had a plan, I executed the plan, and it worked. And that's nice to see. So yeah, good game again. YouTube stuff, thumbsing up, pressing buttons, links, whatever. I'm not here to tell you to do YouTube stuff. I'm here to play Pokemon and have fun with that. And that's what I just did. So I did what I've got to do. So I'm going to get on out of here. So I'll see everyone later. Take care now. Bye-bye.